Autumn sits heavily on Castle Nightspear. An even heavier mist than usual has settled around the castle, lapping like a sluggish sea against its limestone spires and parapets. You cross the practice yard. Here, men-at-arms whack and wallop each other with wooden swords, all under the watchful eye of the grizzled master-at-arms, Sir Drazko. You cross the spacious dining hall. At this hour, the place is empty, and your only company are the faded frescoes depicting a dozen nobles violently poisoned during the thirsty feast of 523.
Home sweet home.
You discover the Duchess, sequestered within her chamber of war in the Tower of the Hippogriff. As you approach the door, however, a pair of castle guards clang their halberds together to bar your passage. No admittance.
Do we recognize that?
The one on the right? No. The one on the left is Sir Mac with the serpent tattoo around his neck.
Good, one of the Viceroy's fucking creatures.
I said no admittance. The Duchess has no time for adventurers today.
Oh yeah? Why not?
A moment, good captain. I will handle this. We bring tidings from a distant journey. Tidings that, if ignored, could spell disaster for the war effort. The good Duchess will certainly remember your name, Cermak, should you prevent these tidings from reaching her ears in a timely fashion. Persuasion check.
Yeah, okay. Sort of riding that persuasion, intimidate line.
That's a 13. Then Zydromedes sweeps into the room.
I assume you all follow?
Sure.
Cool. In the center of the room, two figures stand around a broad table covered in maps and those tiny little carven figurines that represent troop movements. One of them is the Duchess Nightspear, and the other, her advisor, Viceroy Casimir.
Of course.
The Viceroy pulls a sour, surprised face as you enter. The Duchess, meanwhile, looks up, and even through her veil, you can see gladness in her eyes. You also notice that she is dressed in her armor, the emblem of Kamal Most High emblazoned on her breastplate.
That absolutely gives Fletch a boner. He probably says some courtly-ass shit about how devastated he is when they're parted and how glad he is to see her dressed so for war and all of that.
Brave Captain Fletch, you worry so needlessly. Do you forget that I am a steel sister and no stranger to blade and plate?
He'll probably say something like, "It is your beauty that makes me forget how fierce you are in battle. Like a fawn and yet also like a wolf."
Your words flatter as always.
I'm sorry. Can I just say yuck?
Preaching to the choir.
In truth, good captain, I grow restless in silken gowns. Darzovia is at war, and not until the enemy is driven back will I dress for any other purpose than battle.
I can respect that.
Greetings, Duke's men. Once again, you return to me from some new peril, no doubt with wild tales of adventure to regale my eager ears. But wait, do my eyes deceive me? Are you not one less in number? Pray tell me Timon last night lives still, that the perils did not prove too much for him?
He lives still, for all my knowledge. He parted ways with our company 2 days ago, bound for Triumph and his church.
A heavy sorrow on my heart. He is a worthy man and was a valuable weapon in our war. I am grieved to lose him.
He may yet return. Hold on to hope, Your Grace.
You see the Viceroy clears his throat. Good riddance, say I.
Classic douche.
Do not speak ill, Casimir, son of Kamak, of that which you know so little. In fact, speak not at all, and save us the earache.
Come now. I'll hear no more of your tiresome bickering. Word has only just come from the southern front, and it is ill tidings, I fear.
What news?
News that concerns the safety of Darzovia and her people. News not fit to fall upon your pointed ears, landless outcast.
Well, that's pretty racist.
Are you deaf, Viceroy? He is a duke's man, and I'll not have him disrespected so in my presence. Is that understood? Understood, Your Grace. My sincerest apologies. I have only Darzovia's best interests at heart.
When the Duchess isn't looking, I'm gonna pull a face at Casimir. Does he see me?
An 11? Yeah, you see him get sort of chastised, and then...
Oh, and it's...
Yep, all forked and way too long.
Oh, no. Forked?
That's a whole thing.
A rider came in the night. It seems shepherds in the Many-March have reportedly seen trees on the move.
Well, shit.
That far south.
That means they're coming up the other side then, right? Around the mountains?
How many trees
Reports vary. Some say 1 or 2, others an entire forest.
They may well merely be scouts. That's hardly unusual.
It started as trees last time, though, too. Then it was the entire elven army. We can barely hold them here. We couldn't even do that, really, without the...
If, as we fear, the Queen of the Walking Wood seeks to reposition the battlefield around the Hinterpeaks, we'll be facing a war on 2 fronts. A war we're woefully equipped to handle on a single front.
Well, what are our options then?
Well, what do we want here? Like, if the elves make it around the mountains, I don't know how we can stop them from conquering all that shit.
Plus, they'll just wake up the Palewood like they did Fang Forest.
And have more fucking trees.
I'll tell you what we don't want. Snakeface getting his hands on the canopic jars. The last thing we need is another wound.
Is that what the jars do? Make more wounds?
We don't know what they do.
Exactly. I need some time to examine them. I mean, maybe they're harmless. Without some Arcana checks, I have no idea.
Yeah, I bet the mummified internal organs of like an ancient cursed king are probably totally fine. It's nothing to worry about.
If they do come around the side, I think Sidromedes wants everybody to fall back to Yalkastad.
Yalkastad? I'm sorry, remind me?
Built hundreds of years ago by the first Dukes of Darzovia. Pretty much impregnable. Where you guys found the words to wake Zai.
Right, with the Raven Towers. That would mean evacuating the entire city and marching them down the Duke's Road. The one with all the bandits and wargs.
And you think that's the best idea?
Sidromedes does. I mean, he has faith in the old ways, the old strongholds. Between the 2 options, Canopic Jars or Yalkastad, he's got to vote Yalkastad.
Which makes sense. I'm inclined to agree, I guess.
If those are our only 2 options.
What would you guys like to do?
I'd actually be curious to hear what the Duchess thinks is best.
Yeah, can we ask her what she wants us to do?
Too long have we met the elven hosts in open battle. Ever we drive them back, ever they surge afresh. The fields before Dukesburg are wet with elven blood, yes, but more so with the blood of my people, of Darzovian patriots. I cannot ask what few men I have to march leagues away south, to die for some rocky frontier, no matter its strategic position.
What of Yalkastad, Your Grace? The ancient fortress of your ancestors has never fallen to a siege.
You would have me retreat? Abandon Dukesburg to capture? Abandon Castle Nightspear?
If we wait, we could be surrounded.
Surely the small folk at least would be safer there.
Zai, give me a persuasion check to convince the Duchess. I'll even give you advantage since Rael is assisting.
Gladly. Even with that advantage, it's only a 13.
She seems unsure. Like she's not sold on staying, but she's also not sold on leaving. Your Grace, this is ill counsel, I fear.
Oh, goody.
How shall it appear to your people when their Duchess, confronted with this new threat, tucks her tail and flees? Never mind the time and expense of evacuating the city, the long march down the Duke's Road. This is all assuming Yalkastad can even accommodate the city's entire population. And he makes his own persuasion check. Interesting.
Interesting is never good.
How then, wise Casimir, do you suggest that we confront this new threat? You know I haven't soldiers to spare. Before the Viceroy answers, you see he actually glances down towards your satchel's eye.
He does what? Arcana check on that shit. There we go. 18.
He absolutely senses the canopic jar's magical aura. His eyes go right there.
To your satchel.
Yes, his eyes go right to Zai's ballsack. His wrinkly, old ballsack. That depends, Your Grace. Was the adventurer's mission to Uradai's tomb a success?
Define success, I guess?
We found what we sought. The ancient evils of the Brine King will not now fall into elven hands.
The Duchess looks relieved to hear this, but Casimir, of course, is unconvinced. Into whose hands, then, have they fallen?
No, wait. Into Timon Lastlight's hands. We gave them to him before he left for the Holy City.
Deception check, Fletch.
2. Lovely. So, 9 then, in total.
A solid lie, unconvincingly told.
Maybe my eyes go to Zai's satchel for a second, too, and the Viceroy sees me.
Yeah, I like that. Produce the artifacts, wizard. We know you carry them. then the old myths are true. So it would seem. I think it bodes ill for the intentions of the Duke's men, Your Grace, that they would seek to conceal this discovery from you. Indeed. Explain yourselves.
Anybody want to field this one?
The obsidian mirror, Your Grace.
What of the obsidian mirror?
We fetched that artifact for you as well to keep from elven hands. You turned it upon your own country.
There is no recourse. Let the obsidian mirror of MacLeod be broken.
Yes, it stopped the advance of the walking wood, but men now call that land festering wasteland, the wound, and curse its creations. We wished to prevent another such mistake.
Persuasion check, Rael.
Hey, 19.
The Duchess just seems to absorb this a moment. Viceroy Casimir, meanwhile, is aghast. Mistake? See how this traitor speaks to your grace. Many a time have you been warned, adventurer, but the words you bandy before the Duchess. Peace, Casimir. I am not offended. You see the Duchess step somewhat away, go to the chamber window. When I first broke the mirror, I thought it would bring an end to the fighting. A lasting defeat from Elendor and her covetous queen. Now I see that perhaps I was too hasty. Perhaps I wasted our greatest weapon too early in the war. What good has come from breaking the mirror? The elven army advances ever onward despite all my efforts. And what a cost. You see she puts her head in her hands and stands there a moment ashamed.
Oh no! Fletch will try to cheer her up. Fear not, my lady.
All hope is not yet lost. Let us not walk the same dark path twice.
You see the Viceroy change tactics and sidle up behind the Duchess. Perhaps they speak the truth, your grace. Better to lock the thing away where none shall find it, than allow the vile works of Urudai to see the light of day. Yes, Viceroy, perhaps you're right. Guards? You see the door open, and both the door guards enter. Sir Max scowls at Uzai.
Well, Zydromedy scowls right back. Nobody outscowls me.
Take these jars to the catacombs. See them locked within the lightless cell, and bring me the key. The guards sort of nod, and then approach Uzai.
Zydromedes will keep scowling at Cermak, and give the jars to the other guy.
The guard takes them, and they both leave, headed back down the tower.
Okay, that could have gone worse.
He's smiling though. We know what that means.
The Duchess, meanwhile, still stands at the window, and when she speaks, you hear a great weariness in her voice. I thank you for your brave service, Duke's men. Your deeds may just have averted disaster on a scale we cannot comprehend. But all the same, your words have shaken me. I think perhaps I shall take this time to ponder, to consider the best course of action. You heard her, Grace. Out, adventurers. The Duchess needs her rest.
Fletch will tell her not to despair, that the heaviest burden of this war lies on her, and should she need him, she need only summon. And then he'll leave.
I follow.
Zydromedes will give one last scowl at the Viceroy, mutter something ominous under his breath, and follow too. Rest from your craven counsel, methinks.
Gotta get a methinks in there.
Of course.
I don't know, I actually think that went okay. But Rael's totally right. The fucker's still smiling.
Meta much?
Have the guards already left?
By now, yeah. Actually, throw me a quick perception.
Let me see.
What are you thinking?
Total comes to 22.
Rael can just hear their footsteps and like the chink of their chainmail as they hustle down the tower stairs.
Enough to follow them?
Ooh.
Sure? Stealth checks then.
Here, I'll come with, I have that.
Zydromedes will maybe lag behind a little bit. You know, he's an old dude, and there's lots of fucking stairs in this tower.
Shit. Rolled a 3. Makes it a 10.
17 actually, that's a 21.
In a surprising turn of events, Captain Fletch Stonehand is somehow stealthier than Rael as the pair of you descend the tower. Probably just some loose masonry or something, Rael, but it gives away her position.
How's it feel, man?
Don't be a dick, Dean.
By the time you've arrived in the grand entrance hall, however, you've lost them. They could have reached the catacombs by a dozen different pathways from here.
It was good thinking, though.
Zydromedes probably comes harumphing down the stairs minutes later. When 7 centuries has you...
There is someone standing in the castle's grand entrance hall, however.
Oh?
Standing near the central archway, her back turned, is a figure dressed in armor and a shimmering steel gray cloak. As you guys come sneaking into the room, the figure turns around.
And...
Hail and well met. I seek the Duchess Nightspear, lawful ruler of Darzovia.
who's asking?
Lady Celeste Reborn, knight errant of the Steel Sistrum, earthly instrument of Kamal Most High.